we really wanted to do, because I know with COVID and everything going on, is I really wanted just to have some good things going on in Denton, and one of them is right here with all of you today. So let's start with that. But I'd like to introduce John Baines, and we're thrilled to have you, sir.
Thank you, Lisa. Go ahead, Dustin. I'm kind of a ham, so you have to put up with me. I've got a little background music as we're going to just talk a little bit. And I just want to let you know that I'm a cancer survivor, a person with high blood pressure, and I'm almost 70 years of age. And so I fit 3 of those boxes. So if I do the mask thing, it's not that I'm being hateful. I'm just being careful. So I want to thank once again Mr. Ray David. Where you at, Ray? Okay, Mr. Ray David, Lisa Cave, Bobby Wall, and all the Point Bank employees. Point Bank employees, wave your hands in the air like you really do care. All right. We want to thank Zera Coffee again, and all of the folks associated with this organization. I've got my assistant here, Alexandra Jeffcoat, she just got married, Alexandra Kneeling. She makes me look good on the video, so I want you to take the handout. We're gonna kind of walk through it a little bit, kind of tell you the journey we're gonna go on here for the next 15 or 20 minutes. So while you have that, everybody touch your head. Okay. You have a vision, and I have a vision. So when Lisa was asking me about what's going on good in Denton, I'm about to talk to you about my vision, the things that I see. But on the very back of this outline, there are 5 spaces there. And eventually, part of the exercise is where I want you to talk about what your vision, the 5 things that you think are important, what you see good that's going on in Denton. You know, it's one thing to completely ignore the bad, but it's another thing just not to emphasize it. And we're just not gonna emphasize it. There's a lot of bad things going on in the world, but we're not gonna just ignore them, but we're gonna focus on the good things that are going on. So here's what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about economic development in Denton. We're gonna talk about education in Denton. We're gonna talk about collaborative efforts in the Metroplex. We're gonna talk about the social justice efforts that are going on here in Denton. We're going to talk about the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce, some of the things that we're doing. And then Lisa said if we have time, we'll have some feedback questions from the audience. So we'll stop there, Dustin, and let's see what we can do. Here in Denton, Texas. It's a collaboration between the city and the Chamber of Commerce, and our job is to find businesses to come to Denton. So on this video, we're going to just show you one of the successes that we've had. I didn't have enough material on the Buc-ee's, but I was a part of the committee that vetted Buc-ee's and looked at the tax base and the employees that it would bring. Are we going to make it, Dustin, or are we having an issue?
You ready for the video?
Yes, please. So this is a video of U.S. cold storage that we brought to Denton, Texas. And U.S. cold storage is a 260,000 square foot facility out on the north side of town. They brought 90 full-time jobs. They've invested $34 million in the community. Their city taxes every year are $205,000. They've got 600,000 square feet. So think about that. They came here and spent $34 million. That's carpenters, electricians, cement, how would you say, office supplies. I mean, it's a big investment. And then when you look at some of the other companies that have come to Denton, like Tyson Foods, and the expansion that's going on at the airport. Ladies and gentlemen, there is millions of dollars being circulated here in Denton, Texas, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of the group that is looking at the resumes of those companies that want to come to Denton. So I've got one more year, and then I'll have to I'll term out. But just to give you an idea, with the Buc-ee's, for example, Buc-ee's put up $6 million to put in that turnaround that's there. Not only are they providing lots of jobs and a tax base, but they also put money on the table to make Denton a little easier to drive around in. So let's give a round of applause to the City of Denton and economic development. Good stuff going on in town. The next thing is education in Denton. You know, you'll notice inside the little binder here, there's a picture of me over at Evers Park Elementary. And every year I try to go and do a couple of career days. And it's a shame that as a child, I didn't know much about different careers. I mean, I'm an accountant now, but I didn't find out about being an accountant until I was in college. What a shame. You know, so when you think about all of the wonderful things you do and all of the schools that we have, just think about the opportunities to go and educate and inspire and encourage young people to get into a variety of professions. And then across the page there, you see me, I'm at Denton High School, and I'm talking to Denton High School students about I'm grown, I can live on my own. Anybody know any high school kids with a big head? Think they know everything? So what I did was I developed a program called I'm Grown, I Can Live on My Own. And actually, the focus is to show you you're not grown and you can't live on your own. You know, but once they see it in black and white, they realize, wait a minute, I better stay at home with mom and dad a little longer. You know, I'm not as smart as I think I am, you know. So when you show them, if you want the big car, the apartment, the ride, you know, all of that, the accoutrements of success, you're working 80 hours a week. Wait a minute, how do I go to high school if I'm working 80 hours a week? You know. So it's been rewarding to put on that program for a number of high school students. Let's see, moving on. Another page there, you see me over at TWU talking to young people about business and business plans. You know, it's an amazing thing. People say, I want to go in business, but they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan of action. So, you know, it's almost like going to the store without a shopping list. You know what happens, right? You get what you don't need, and you forget what you do need. So a business plan is just a shopping list to say, okay, da, la, da, 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 okay? So now let's go on to the next point on the outline. Let's see, universities and colleges, we talked about that. Collaborative efforts here in Denton. I was at a meeting recently with H. Ross Perot Jr. And he was talking about the development that's going in out here next to Robeson Ranch. And he was telling us about his conversation with folks in California, and the mantra is, California is a nice place, but if you want to do business and raise families, come to Texas. And so you have a lot of companies leaving California and coming to Texas. So you have folks like H. Ross Perot, and you have other communities that the city of Denton is collaborating with. So let's say, for example, Denton may not have everything they want, but we'll collaborate with Louisville. We'll collaborate with Frisco to make sure that we at least get them in the neighborhood and we get a few of those tax dollars, okay? Some of those great jobs. So the whole idea is, if we can't have it, at least we'd like to collaborate to make sure we bring them into the vicinity. So there's a lot of that going on behind the scenes that doesn't always make the front page. We'll talk about social justice efforts here in Denton. I happen to, let me tell you a funny story. So they asked me to serve on the statue committee for the Confederate statue that was there, and they were looking for a chairman. And so during that time they were looking for a chairman, I had my head down on the table. because I was not interested in being the chairman, okay? But somehow they made me the chairman of that committee. And one of the more interesting experiences I had was I got to meet a descendant of both, Jefferson Davis and of Ulysses S. Grant. So this one young lady had both lineages in her blood. And so she was talking about her experience, et cetera, et cetera. And believe it or not, it was about 50-50 about people who wanted to move the statue and people who wanted to leave it there. However, the unfortunate events that happened in Minnesota kind of changed the consciousness of America, and they realized we need to make some changes, and so the statue got moved. They put me on the use of force committee to talk about the use of force because of the situation there in Minnesota. We didn't want the same thing to happen here, and so how do we prevent that? And so we just completed the exercise and put that into place. And then the one thing I want to emphasize whenever it comes to social justice is the power of conversation. You know, I wanted to make a picture of Justice Scalia and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because even though they were polar opposites in a lot of ways, they spent a lot of time together. They went on vacations together, their families. So to me, that's the issue that excites me. At least we're talking about things. You know, we may never agree on everything, but at least we're talking. And to me, that's the thing that makes the difference in this community. At least we're talking. And then we're going to talk about the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce a little bit. Inside there is a page I want you to turn to. It's called March 1st and 2nd, 2019. It's near the back. And when you see some kids or some young people that are not gainfully employed, that are not doing good things, we can do one of two things. We can cop an attitude and say, look at those boys, they're in so much trouble. I can't believe they're being so disrespectful. I don't know what to say. That's one attitude. Or you can say, how about I get involved and let's see how I can help kind of solve some of the problems. So rather than use the first attitude, we began to look and say, why are these young people unemployed? Why are they not gainfully employed or gainfully engaged? And you know, today I have no qualms about a person getting a college degree, but not everyone needs a college degree. There's a lot of good jobs out there and training that don't require college. And so once we kind of dug into the matter, we realized, especially in the construction business, a person can, let me give you an example. Denton ISD has a program now. If you go in there as a junior to study HVAC, your senior year, you'll get an internship, and then when you graduate from high school, you start at $40,000 to $45,000 a year. Now, think about that. A high school graduate starting at $40,000 to $45,000. Anybody know any high school students? Any adults that could use $40,000 to $45,000 starting out, okay? So Denton ISD has this program. They realize, okay, there's a shortage in all of these areas. Jago Public, the people that do the streets, they said, John, I'll pay a person $30,000 to $35,000 just to work the streets, to do street repair, okay? To work on the street, $30,000 to $35,000, okay? And so we've got to find a way to direct the people that need the jobs to the jobs that need the people. And so that's one of the areas that the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce has been focusing on. And I just want you to know this. You don't have to be black to be in the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce, okay? You know, the focus is we want to improve and help that segment of society, but you don't have to be black to do that. You know, good folks help good folks. And also, a lot of the kids that we help, the young people that we help, are not black. They're just disadvantaged. You know, poverty knows no color. You know, anybody know some poor folks out there? Some folks that need help? Okay, all right. So we have to learn to help one another. I I'm almost done here. About the initiative of the Denton Black Chamber of Commerce. On the next page, we have a little guitar. And the little guitar is about our Denton Blues Festival. And so this year, the Denton Blues Festival is virtual. And it's going to be on October the 24th. And it gives you the website there where you can go. And what we're doing this year is we're taking the best talent from years 2011 through 2019. And then we're gonna have a karaoke time in the morning where we take the best of our karaoke from 10 to 12. And then from 12 to 9 at night, we're gonna go back and get all the best acts of the past. And where you can get your air guitar out. You can shake your head, you can put on your wig, and I put on my wig, shake my head, and have a good time playing blues. So that'll be on Saturday, October the 24th. And let's see, where am I now? Let's see. And I have a closing song, and I left my lyrics here, so let's go ahead and we'll do the closing song, and then we'll do some Q&A. Yeah, I write songs. Spoke to Lisa Cave about this scene. She says she needs good news, good side of things. Imprisoned by the COVID-19 thing. I want to smile and dance, that's what we need. Tell us good things, John, before we scream. What is good out there? What do you see? We're doing all right. Uh-huh. I'm not doing too bad myself. Uh-huh. We're doing all right. Uh-huh. Not doing too bad myself. Uh-huh. Business want to come here, and I know why. Good place, folks in town, and schools is why. When I think of all the good, I start to cry. We're not wasting time, let me tell you why. Not drinking the bad news, and no more lies. Come on, make a difference, y'all, before we die. We're doing all right. Uh-huh. It's okay if you shake. I'm not doing too bad myself. Uh-huh. I'm doing all right. Uh-huh. Not doing too bad myself. Uh-huh. So ladies and gentlemen, that's my presentation. Good things going on today. You just have to look for them. And now I want to hear from you. What are some of the good things you're up to? Lisa, I want you to control this conversation. You do a good job. And thank you for your time, ladies.
It's really good we're bringing in the new businesses. There are a lot of businesses here that, and I wonder if you could get on a committee to work with the city on all the issues that they have on the pettiness of some of the codes of doing business in Denton. Because I think that would be a great help, because people, I do know in the past, we've lost businesses that were gonna come here because of our rigidity and not being able to work with them. But I know there are businesses here, and I've had several experiences that are just unbelievable because of, some of the rules that are first of all, discriminatory, and they're not equally enforced, okay? So I would like for you to be on one of those committees to get that straightened out.
Well, Bill, actually, when the Economic Development Partnership, we are embracing now just what you're talking about, kind of a remastering the game plan for people coming to Denton and doing business. So and that reputation is there. That reputation is there. Like, for example, I have a reputation of always wanting to sing. So my wife and kids always say, "Dad, are you singing?" And so this city has a reputation of not being that easy on inviting businesses here. So we are working on that reputation. Thank you. Other questions? Yes.
John, tell us about your history of
Okay. Well, actually, after graduate school, my wife and I were looking to do church work with young families. So we moved here in 1983, and that's what we started doing, working with young families. As young people in college, we were very helped by some families that opened their home and kind of showed us how to be married and how not to hurt one another when you get mad, you know. And so we realized we got help, and so we wanted to help others. And there was a lot of young people here in Denton, so we moved here, and that's why we came initially. And also, Ray, what happened was I was in the oil business working for an oil company, and I got laid off. So then I started my own business. I was living here and driving to Dallas every day. And then when in 1986, when the price of oil went below $20 a barrel, they told me, John, you got to go find you another job. So here I am. Send me some business. More questions?
John, I just want to say thank you for all that you do for this community.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm my daddy told me, he said, now, wherever you make your money, you want to give some back. So I have a policy between myself and my staff. We want to give back to the community that's been good to us. So I'm very thankful for the community, and we love being here. It's been great.
Okay. Any other questions?
When are we going to film this song and make that the commercial for economic development?
We'll finish it up. We'll finish it up. Maybe you can sing with me. How about that? Thank you, Point Bank. Let's give Point Bank once again a round of applause. Zero Coffee, thank you so much. And to all the wonderful business people, thank you. Bobby, thank you for this time.
And we just want to give, here you go, sir, a little speaker gift. We appreciate it from Point Bank.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I learned this man loves spaghetti. Gave me the recipe for the sauce. Rotel got all the turkey meat and everything. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.